Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea. Welcome back to another ByuN versus MaxPax. Here in the bottom left spawning as the blue Terran it is ByuN. And in the top right is the red Protoss player. We have MaxPax here. Who's opening up with a gateway scout and goes around the map making sure, well, yeah, it's kind of making sure that there's not going to be any proxy barracks here. Wouldn't have minded if he popped this little probe head up there, but he decided not to. I can dig it. I can actually dig it. Probe gets sent downstairs, making sure there's no type of eBay block here. And as the minerals get mined and get returned back to the Nexus, I'm curious. This looks to me like it's going to be a Nexus before core, actually. Wow. That is kind of ballsy. And for one reason and one reason only, because this probe hadn't quite reached the opponent's base yet. So if there was a proxy Rex over here, or a proxy Rex over here, or one, well, really that's all there is. But if there was a proxy Reaper over there and you open up with Nexus before core, you're dead. Like the game actually ends if someone has the micro of ByuN or just any of the top Terrans will take you out. Now MaxPax wants to figure out whether there's a Marine here. He didn't see a Marine down, but ByuN is smart enough to keep the Marine off and on the high ground. As we see, well, this kind of looks like either a 3-Rex or a triple CC here. And as we see the rally, it's going to be a barracks right now. Completely pooling out of gas. As MaxPax is heading back home with his probe. And we'll be opening this up with a Twilight Council. Second, third barracks are going down. And we'll have to wait and see to see what the exact follow-up is going to be for ByuN. Of course, it can be with a faster second gas, can be a delayed second gas. There's a lot of options here, without a bunker. Really, the world is your oyster as a Terran when you're opening with 3 barracks. And I'm curious to see what ByuN's oyster is going to look like. These 3 Marines will remain on the high ground for now, afraid of a potential Stalker. It's not the Adept that they're afraid of. The Adept they have no problem with. The Stalker is the scary part. ByuN often very comfortable in fighting a Stalker though. And ooh, it's gonna throw down a bunker actually here. As you see ByuN keeping a relatively high amount of SCVs in the main base right here. The reason he's doing it is because he does not want to give away that he's playing a 3-Rex. So with a 3-Rex you play that off a single gas for a very long time. And that means that either you're going to send these workers that usually would be in a gas to the low ground, and with that kind of showing to your opponent what's going on. It's like, hey, I only have a single gas, otherwise why are these units down here? Or you do what ByuN does and you just keep some extra SCVs in the main base. That way with the Adept Scout you can't figure out, hey, there's freaking 9 workers here, or hey, there's 6 workers here at like 310. That seems a little bit out of place. No, that's not the case. What's this by the way? Oh, we're playing 4-gate Blink again. MaxPax loves this build order. Personally, I'm not a huge fan of it, but against a 3-Rex opener, I don't really mind it too much, honestly. There are some blink up areas on this map, of course, which can be helpful. As double Marauder production has started on these barracks. Stim as well as Combat Shield is being researched right now. And I wonder if he's going to move out with 2 or with 4 Marauders, or what the plan is going to be. It's 14 Marines, 2 Marauders. I guess that's what the plan is going to be. One more Adept Shade is going to get cancelled here. These Marines will join up with this little army as well. So the Prism is on the way, the first few Stalkers are out already, and Blink will finish up in a couple of seconds. Adept will get taken out for control out of MaxPax. Yep, Adept will die. As these Stalkers make their way onto the map, I actually do believe they should be moving a bit further onto the map. Battery gets thrown down as well. This is a slow move out here. I really do think he could have moved way further on the map already. Now he's going to have less time. Is there a sentry with this army? There's not. Otherwise he could at least, you know, kind of hold the ramp over here in some way. That would have been kind of cool, honestly. Imagine, BAM! Force field, army in half, boom. You kill, what, 8, 9 of them? This is painful. This has some potentially bad consequences for MaxPax here, as that battery is too late, and it is going to end up finishing up. But this was a good trade for ByuN. 1k down the drain from MaxPax. Super battery gets activated. A couple of workers are also going to fall. There's no 4th base yet though, and well, 5 Stalkers, 1 Adept, 3 probes. yeah, end of the day, maybe it's not even that bad. It's relatively even, but it feels like this should have been way better for MaxPax. I think 4-gate Blink against 3-Rex is one of the best builders you can have against the 3-Rex. And although I'm not too fond of the 4-gate Blink as a build by itself, against 3-Rex, I think it's pretty darn good. So, yes, I'm a little bit surprised here, I have to admit. I'm surprised that this went this poorly for MaxPax. Of course, there can be a little bit of ping involved, and well, I mean, that's really no excuse to not move further on the map with your Stalker. So, yeah, just a little surprised. Stalker's moving in, we'll start targeting down this bunker. Blink back, blink back, blink back, blink back. Good control so far out of MaxPax. We'll end up losing 1-2 Stalkers. One more blink back. No, not in time. Another pickup. These trades honestly haven't been that great, but the bunker is gone at least. Medevac's are just now starting production, and that just does mean that there's still some time here for MaxPax. I think we have about 20-25 seconds in which you can force a stim, maybe pick up a Marauder here and there. Are we going to see another stim? I think ByuN needs the stim almost. No. Managed to get the forced blink back. Kind of impressive. There's a lot of Marauders in this army after all. Holy crap. Did he just kill his own Marine? I think he did. This is 7 Marauders, 7 Marines against 14 Stalkers. Stalkers will be moving back. Zealots here to tank. Not to do anything else, don't get that wrong. Yeah, it makes micro a lot harder here on these Marauders, of course. Marauders not that brilliant usually against Zealots, but the SCVs are gonna go down. There's 3 Zealots for 5 SCVs. That's a trade. I'm not sure if that's a trade that's necessarily super worth it, but it was a trade. That's all I'm gonna say about that. Templar Archives is being used here, but no Storm yet. Am I incorrect? Am I the idiot? No, I'm not. That's kind of surprising, because this is a very low gateway count. And often in this type of situation we see a Storm Rush rather than going into Archons. And as we don't even see these Templar morph right now, I'm actually kind of afraid that MaxPax forgot that he hasn't started the Storm research yet. There we go, he's gonna start it right now. That's a little late though, needs to chrono boost it like his life depends on it. It is a pretty short upgrade though, 80 seconds. With 3 chrono boost on that, well 2.5 chrono boost on it, you can get that down to about 60-ish seconds, but still, it's a long time. 60, well, 55 maybe. Yeah, it's halfway done already. Okay, 4 Templar are out, and MaxPax, who's skipping the Forge, is in a position where I believe he can be happy in right now. It's not the greatest position, considering that this was a 4-gate against 3-Rex. But nonetheless, he managed to get somewhere where he's up in supply. He's going to have a bit of a Storm timing, which, well, I mean, that's just fantastic to watch. It's going to be a great little fight. The only thing we're really missing are upgrades, but that is standard when you open Fast Storm from 4-gate Blink. Upgrades get thrown down after Storm, and your Templar Warpins are done usually. You don't really have the gas for them before that. Straight into 6 gas as well, no quick 4th base. And this really is the timing for MaxPax to start moving out, and he's not doing that so far. He is staking his sweet time. 2 Stalkers are being parked at the 3rd base, making sure that any potential drops will not be able to hit there. Vision on the right side is absolutely marvelous, and the Observer in the front also. Is that not in range? Yeah, that is in range. Hello? Can we take it out?
Mineral field depleted.
Oh, there's no Marines here, or what? Is this pure Marauder? 40 Marauder, 10 Marines. We really should take out that. Hello? Maybe he doesn't see it? Right in your face, man.
Mineral field depleted.
And into 2 bunkers. I would not recommend this fight, by the way. 2 bunkers, an insanely sieged position. Turret as well, helping out against the Prism, of course. Turret gets sniped first. I do like that call. Here come the Storms, here come the Storms. First Storm hits, second Storm doesn't hit as well. A lot of these tanks are actually getting taken out, but I'm not so sure if this was the fight that MaxPax was dreaming of. 2 tanks on the high ground, still dishing out a fair amount of damage. 1 Storm is remaining, can be thrown down here. Wow, MaxPax with a fight, huh? What a fight for MaxPax. I did not believe that this was going to be the way. It seems to have been the way. As MaxPax absolutely breaking ByuN over here. 12, 13, 14, 17 workers end up falling. Sure, the upgrades for ByuN still are fine, but the worker count did just make a bit of a drop. I would love to see Robo Bay second Robo being the follow-up here, rather than going into 2 extra gates and a 4th base. I really believe this gate should be cancelled as well, and a second Robo needs to be added ASAP. Usually you get the Robo-Bay during the fight, so you get your +1 upgrades, you get your Robo-Bay and second Robo, and then when your opponent counterattacks, you have 2 Colossi without thermal lens. That is the Korean standard. That is how I see Zest play it every single time, and Zest is darn good at this opener, and is darn good with that Prism, let me tell you. So it's surprising to see that not be the case here in this game. +1 is almost done. We do have enhanced shockwave on the way for these 3 ghosts that are coming out. The medevac count is perhaps a little bit low, and a 4th base is, well, expensive and thus kind of far away. Blink forward out of MaxPax here. Not a risky blink forward. He had no... Oh no, never mind, he did have vision. He did have vision, so the blink was a little less risky than I thought it was. Second Robo is now coming out. Thermal lens should start soon. 4th base is about to finish up. And then these gases can be taken. And once you're on 8 gas against a 6 gas Terran, that's when things start going very well for the Protoss. Being able to afford these Colossi as well as the Stormers. Just getting an all-around good army. While Terran is kind of stuck on either building upgrades or getting Viking Ghost. And even then, just Vikings from a single starport majority of the time. Seems like actually ByuN has plenty of gas, so he probably could just get a second eBay and an armory at the same time here, but he's still lacking some money. Stalker's moving forward, trying to get this tower back, but needs to blink. And he will blink back home. Widowmine being built one at a time here from this factory. Still no armory on the map though, so these Widowmines aren't going to be super useful. I like this comp, by the way. Templar in a Prism, Colossi, Stalker, Archon. So although there's Ghost and a couple of Vikings, that Templar Prism still could provide some value here. It's also so powerful defensively, right? Just having a Prism around to zone your opponent's army before the fight starts is great. I love the defensive use of Templar here as well. 2 workers just died. I don't know where that was. Maybe over here? I actually have no clue how that can have happened. Well, it doesn't matter. We now have that the armory on the way here for ByuN's, as well as the second eBay. So should be getting ready to go heavy on these upgrades. Wants to perhaps go for a bit of a 2-2 timing. Well, actually 2-2 timing is going to be way too late. ByuN's going to be maxed way before that, of course. Still has 2 tanks in this army as well. And he's going to use them defensively, I assume. At that 3rd base. Planetary is going to get thrown down at the 4th. The ghost count is still ever increasing. Triple Colossi, 6 Templar, and now Immortals as a follow-up rather than Disruptors. That is a call that we don't often see here. Especially if Liberators are still absent. Disruptors just, they possess so much power in the late game of PvT that not getting them almost always feels like a mistake. The ground force of the opponent just has no good counter. Liberators are really the only decent counter. As we see armor starting first here for ByuN. We'll get into the plus to attack as well. Prism with the 4 Templar is lacking speed, by the way. No speed on that Prism. MaxPax moving in as Zealot, Stalker, Archon, Sentry. Oh, here come the snipes. Do they want to go for that Prism? No Guardian Shield being used yet. Triple Force Field instead. So that no Guardian Shield was on purpose. Good blink for it. That means that the Prism now has free play to throw down a couple of huge storms. But I'm not quite sure if this army for MaxPax has enough tanking power with all the EMPs on the Archons. The Stalker's taking a beating as well. Another Zealot warp in needs to save this fight. But there's a couple of EMPs still available. Where's the rest of the bio here for ByuN? He still should be having a slightly bigger army, I believe. As the 3 works go down. Oh, there's a huge drop in the main base. I completely missed that. Seems like I'm not the only person that completely missed that. As MaxPax doesn't really have anything in position. Now a single storm is going to deal with at least all of the Marines in here. And a second storm will deal with majority of the Marauders. Beautiful defense here out of MaxPax, who is pushing forward, but might just get pushed back. 60 workers against 38. 3rd orbital command is still alive. This 5th base is still up. These medevacs are going to get taken out, and we're basically back at the situation that we were 6 minutes into the game, except with higher tech units. But it's 95 supply against 91. Plus 2 upgrades for MaxPax against soon to be 2-2, as well as ship weapons. And I actually believe in this situation that the Terran now has a small advantage. Because the upgrades are already there. If ByuN can somehow squeeze out 3-3, there is such immense pressure on MaxPax to get his own second forge as well. I mean, a single forge is just not going to be enough if you're fighting against 3-3. Well, you're going to be 3-3 against 2-1. That will not cut it. You'll need to be, well, 3-1 at least, I think. Even then, you're still kind of behind. This is just not a great situation. And once that 2-2 finishes, these fights are going to start swinging into ByuN's favor by just a tiny tad. But I do believe it's a little bit enough that will make the difference in the upcoming fights. Archons still being a key unit in the army comp for MaxPax is a confusing call, as this army largely consists over here out of Ghost, and EMPs are just the absolute hard counter to Archons, right? You can literally cast 3 spells on them and they'll have no HP left, or they'll have no shields left and then 10 HP. Like, this is fake supply. There's 16 supply of units that don't do anything in this army. They won't do any damage. So there's in this 86 army supply, there's 16 supply that's useless. This is a 70 supply army currently. These Archons are just blocking the better units. That means that I think if ByuN can get into a position here at the third base, if he has the balls to move out, if he feels like he can get across the map without any repercussions, I think he might just be able to win the game. I don't think ByuN agrees with that though, as ByuN is sitting back home. Not getting 3-3 upgrades yet. Double command center is being thrown down though, as these rocks will get blasted. The 5th Archon is being added. This army feels like it has some tanking power because of the 5 Archons, but in reality this army will just melt like butter in front of the sun. Like, it is painful. It's going to be painful to watch here. And there's no tools either to get rid of these ghosts. There's no disruptors. First EMP hits, half HP on these Archons immediately. There come the storms. Oh, huge storm does hit. Good control there. Out of MaxPax. Hits the storm where he wants it to. These Archons are just so low. These Archons are so damn low. Good control once again out of MaxPax with these Stalkers and with the Observer Vision, of course, making life a lot easier. Still believe. I'm not quite sure if he can do this. I am not quite sure if he can do this. There's 4 EMPs still remaining. No, 5 EMPs perhaps. 5 EMPs remaining here. That is what? That was an interesting storm that I didn't really like, but it is what it is, I guess. Here come the Ghost moving forward. Can we see some target fire on the Ghost? Yes! The Ghost goes down. There's still 4 remaining though. Vikings in the sky. Just kind of sharking around, looking for a kill. Whether that's going to be a Prism or something else doesn't matter. Disruptors being built right now, as well as Shadow Stride. So Blink DTs are an option in the future. There's a lot of gas in the bank, so I do like that. With that sensor tower, ByuN knows exactly where to move. But with this Observer, MaxPax also exactly knows where to move. I think that Observer is slightly better than the sensor tower is. That bad boy has honestly proven that if you have vision, it makes such a huge difference. Just the control of the Stalkers as well. It just changes. Look at these EMPs. Archon's completely useless here. Now all of a sudden 4, 10 shield HP Archons. I mean, one more EMP on this and these Archons die. Here we go. All of these Archons are straight up just going to fall. There is some Immortals in the back though. Half of the army isn't even in this fight yet. And ByuN is already winning it. Vikings are going to try to snipe down one of these Colossi. Here comes the second part of the army with more Medivacs as well. Oh, Disruptors are going down. Storms are going to hit relatively well. There's one more Disruptor in the back. Colossi are falling. But like I said, this army has no tanking power whatsoever. The Archons being completely useless in the fight. There's no Disruptors to zone out this army either, and that means that this is going to get pushed back. There is a big warp in, 13 Stalkers, 2 Disruptors being built at a time, but there's too many Marauders here. If there's still a single EMP available, which I believe there is, oh, there's 2 EMPs available. These Stalkers are going to fly away back to Ire, and well, Vikings will end up landing as this base is going to get pushed back. 5 bases still mining here. I wouldn't mind a small counterattack, whether that's on the 3rd or the 5th base. The 5th base is being guarded by tanks and Liberators, so perhaps that is not really an option. Base immediately gets retaken. MaxPax, of course, has been mining slightly better than his opponent for a while now. There was a lot of money in the bank. There's a very high production. 13 gateways, 3 robos. I mean, that's the infrastructure that you dream of. This base is going to get cancelled one more time. I don't think MaxPax should be trying to engage into this yet. I do like taking off reinforcements, though. That is a good call, but these disruptors, well, they need to do a lot. I don't think MaxPax can quite engage into this. I really don't believe he can. I wouldn't even mind a pickup into the main base here for ByuN. That definitely is a possibility, right? Oh, disruptors are actually taking a bit of a beating here. ByuN is controlling against these zealots. One more disruptor will fall. At the same time, a disruptor will also hit a couple of marauders. Here comes the pickup that I was talking about. 3 stalkers get warped in immediately. Is there money for more? Is there money for more? There is money for more, but it's not being done so far. DTs in the main base get the blink off, but the scan immediately spots it. Super battery once again is off cooldown. Cooldown of that sometimes seems to not be there whatsoever. ByuN does need to leave this base, but he forced a lot of units into the main base, a lot of warp-ins into the main base, and at the same time moves towards the far left. MaxPax sees the threat coming and decides it's time to tap out. Without ever getting into 3-3, ByuN wins this game here on 2K Atmospheres against MaxPax.